Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero, and we're back again talking about YouTube suspending monetization across all of Russell Brand's channels following his accusations and allegations being brought against him. This comes to us from battling into comics. In light of the actor being publicly accused of terrible things by multiple women, YouTube has announced that it has completely suspended Russell Brand's ability to make money from any of his various channels. These claims of terrible things against the Forgetting Sarah Marshall star were first brought to public attention on September 16th, courtesy of a joint investigation conducted by UK news outlets The Times, The Sunday Times, and broadcaster Channel 4's investigative series Dispatches. For both a published report and an accompanying documentary produced by Dispatches titled Russell Brand in Plain Sight, Brand is said to have done terrible things against four separate women between 2006 and 2013, while he was a presenter for BBC Radio 2 and Channel 4, and then an actor in Hollywood films. One woman referred to by the outlet as Alice. So essentially they're saying anonymous because they're full of crap, in my opinion. It's with the public opinion, it's always guilty until proven innocent, when in actual reality it should be innocent until proven guilty, always. Alleged that during a relationship she had with the then 31-year-old Brand when she was 16 years of age, the legal age of consent in Britain, the actor did things that were questionable, according to her. I was sat up in the bed against the headboard, and he did these things to me, and I couldn't breathe, said Alice. It was just doing terrible things, and I couldn't breathe, and I was pushing him away. He wasn't backing off. Quote, I ended up having to harm him really hard in the stomach to get him off. The woman continued, I was crying, and he said, oh, I only wanted to see your mascara run anyway. I know at this point he didn't care about doing things to me physically or emotionally. It shouldn't take you having to do this to someone and to wind them to get them off of you. It shouldn't have been physical. Another woman, Nadia, claims that amidst a consensual relationship with Brand, the actor once begged her to come over to his house late at night. When she arrived, she discovered that he had supposedly only done so with the intention of instigating relations between themselves and another individual. Insulted by the proposition, she then attempted to leave, only for Brand. I'm like, no, that's not happening. I don't care. That's not happening. We're not doing that, detailed the woman. I tried to get away from him and I slipped away from the wall. And then I went to another wall that had a painting on it, a huge painting, and my bag got actually stuck underneath that, and it's still on my arm. And at this point, he's grabbing at pulling it to his side. Quote, I'm stuck underneath the painting. He's pushing against me. She continued. He's a lot taller than me, and he has that glazed look in his eye again, and I can't move, and I told him to get off. It was at that point Nadia claimed Brand, without protection, did this to her. She further asserted that upon completion, Brand blocked the door that I've come into because he doesn't want me going. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. You need to get away from me. He's like, calm down. Eventually, Nadia managed to remove herself from his house. A few hours later, Brand has alleged to apologize for this act. I'm sorry, Brand can be seen writing per a screenshot of the exchange provided to the Times by Nadia. That was crazy and selfish. Hope you can forgive me. I know that you're a lovely person. You scared the crap out of me, Nadia can be read replying. You're right, I'm a lovely person, and for you to take advantage of me like that is unacceptable. You have a problem, you need help. It's dangerous that you think you can get your own way all the time. Quote, do you know how scary you are when that glazed look comes over you? She continued, when a girl says no, it means no. Do I have to go and get myself tested? Last time you asked me this. When I said this, that doesn't mean it's optional. You don't have the best reputation. Okay, so that's basically from the text messages here. Okay, you don't need to get tested. I will make this up to you somehow with love and kindness. Okay, now my original idea, which was this. You've been lovely to me, and I'm embarrassed by my behavior. Okay, moving on. According to treatment records apparently reviewed by the outlets, Nadia was seen by the UCLA Santa Monica Medical Center's treatment center later that day, along with confirming that she had frozen her undergarments, and other samples for evidence said records allegedly note that the center put Nadia in contact with an LAPD officer to make a full report, but she ultimately chose not to, as she didn't think my words would mean anything up against his. So you didn't follow a police report, so now you're coming up out of nowhere. Yeah, okay. Sure. The notes also made a record of the fact that she was worried that if her bad person's name is somehow released, that her name will be dragged through the dirt. So essentially, no report on file that any of this actually happened. Sure. Again, innocent until proven guilty. The third woman, Phoebe, told the Times that she first met Brandon at the anonymous meeting before going on to both work with him professionally and sharing a brief relationship. It was at some point after this relationship, while she was at Brandon's home under the auspices of working on an unspecified project, that Phoebe said the actor attempted to do this to her. She says, quote, I was screaming and I was like, what are you doing? Stop, please. You're my friend. Love you. Please don't do this. Don't want to do this. Okay. As for the fourth woman, little is currently known about her, as her experience was not detailed in the Times piece. Rather, the publication simply noted that she, quote, described being done bad things to her by Brand and him doing bad things towards her. In response to support, Brand's lawyers blasted his publication as a concerted campaign against their client, which all of this seems to be the case, who they said expressed concern over the potential that there was a deeply concerning agenda to all of this, namely the fact that he is an alternative media broadcaster competing with mainstream media, which he is. He's been competing with them for quite a few years now, going against the mainstream narrative and telling you like it is, essentially. As for the actor himself, Brand took to his personal YouTube channel on September 15th, the day before the report went public, to offer his own recorded statement on the entire ordeal. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received two extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper.
So yes, he's received letters about things that are concerning,
listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany,
essentially wanting him to shut up because he's going against the mainstream media, which is typically what happens when you go against the mainstream media. They typically want you to shut up.
Of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity,
which seems to be pretty normal for a Hollywood actor, they typically seem to be very promiscuous. It seems to be a pretty normal thing for human beings overall, especially when you're famous.
The relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question.
Of course, you're going to deny it because it all sounds like absolute garbage anyway. It's all allegations and things that happened years ago that all of a sudden popped up out of nowhere, because it's exactly how all this tends to happen. It tends to be things happen, people get older, things change. Apparently, people want to come out of nowhere because, again, he's talking about being against the mainstream, and we, of course, the mainstream media can't have that. You can't have competition. The mainstream can't have competition. So they got to get rid of the opposition somehow. And, of course, allegations that are very, very egregious seem to be the most common way to get rid of them. Similar to a JD.
Is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan, when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of, and we saw a spate of...
Yep. There was a certain medication that Joe Rogan was taking that the mainstream media were against him taking. And they absolutely came after him and started making up egregious lies about him and saying he's disinformation, he's misinformation, all this nonsense.
Of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too...
They did the same exact thing anytime, Donald Trump mentioned a certain medicine that was very hopeful to people for a very long time, and they kept saying, oh, it's bad, because he did it. Yeah.
Too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles. Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist. Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making fun.
I remember all of those too. Though I remember seeing those as well. I was like, he's pretty left. What are y'all talking about? That's weird.
Phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. What
It seems to be perfectly fine.
seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together.
Seems to be true.
We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
As you should. You should stay free. Of course, we're going past all this because this has to do with everything he just talked about in the video. It was in light of this controversy that on September 19th, YouTube announced that they would be demonetizing all of his channels on the platform. Quote, "We have suspended monetization on Russell Brand's channel for violating our creator responsibilities policy." YouTube, in a statement to The Hill, explained that their decision, if a creator's off-platform behavior harms our users, employees, or ecosystem, we take action to protect the community, which is absolute garbage, considering that Cardi B came out and admitted to doing terrible things to men while she was doing questionable work, we'll say. And yet her channel is still monetized. But yeah, it's to protect users, employees, and our ecosystem. Okay, whatever. Considering that they push her music out there to be the best music for people to listen to, even though her music, in my opinion, is absolute dog shit. And I would recommend Tom MacDonald, as much as I'm sure I'll have people that'll say, "Oh yeah, of course you listen to Tom MacDonald because he talks about controversial things." Yeah, whatever. Quote, "This decision applies to all channels that may be owned or operated by Russell Brand." They additionally clarified, as of writing, Brand has yet to present his aforementioned exculpatory evidence. Well, after this all came out, right, we got this from Elon Musk saying that his speech is essentially protected over on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. To where Mario, this comes from Mario Narwhal on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. Elon targeted for not canceling Russell Brand. X refuses to request from government. As many social media platforms work together to cancel Russell Brand, Elon Musk has spoken out against his censorship, stating, quote, "He is not suspended on this platform, innocent until proven guilty." Culture, Media, and Sport Committee Chairwoman Dame Caroline Dinenage asked Elon if he, quote, has personally intervened in any decisions on Russell Brand's status on the platform. "We have seen Elon defend Brand's position as an alternative media voice. He said the media doesn't quote, like the competition," and they don't, which they're getting crushed by YouTube all the time. "We have seen Elon," oh yeah, I read that. "Things get worse. They have also contacted Linda Yaccarino asking if X would be, quote, suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. The government's motive is to pressure Elon and X into blindly joining the media's coordinated attack on Russell Brand. He hasn't even been charged, and they want to demonetize and deplatform him. What's going on? Elon stood against censorship." So Russell Brand puts this out, says this is happening. Elon responds, "Of course, they don't like competition." And it says, from the New York Post, YouTube suspends Russell Brand from making money off the stream platform site after these claims, in which Elon responds, "He's not suspended on this platform. Innocent until proven guilty is a wise and fair maxim." And of course, it should be a fair and wise maxim because that's what we have in this country, innocent until proven guilty, except nowadays it's the public opinion that says guilty until proven innocent. Well, it seems like Rumble said the same thing, essentially. This was Rumble's response to the UK Parliament's letter to the CEO of Rumble. To which it says right here, it says, "Dear Chris, I am writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context of his being a content provider on Rumble with more than 1.4 million followers. Sounds like a threat. This whole thing's probably going to sound like a threat. The Culture Media and Sport Committee is raising questions with the broadcasters and production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. However, we are also looking at his use of social media, including on Rumble, where he issued his preemptive response to the accusation made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches, which he is allowed to do because apparently Rumble seems to have more free speech than any other platform. While we recognize that Rumble is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform, and he should be allowed to profit on that platform. You all, the BBC, have no right to be telling people what they can and can't do, or who can't host his content. We would be grateful if you could confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content. It's really none of your business, including his videos relating to serious accusations against him, which most of them seem to be garbage, according to what I've seen from people who've made videos on this. If so, we would like to know whether Rumble intends to join YouTube in suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. I doubt it, which I already know the answer because I'm going to read it. We would also like to know what Rumble is doing to ensure that creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Signed, the Chair of Culture, Media, and Sport Committee, Dame Caroline Dinenage, which Rumble responded. Right, here's the response to the letter of the UK Parliament, basically telling them to go fuck themselves. Today we received an extremely disturbing letter from a committee chair in the UK Parliament, where Rumble obviously deplores these terrible things and believes that both alleged victims and the accused are entitled to a full and serious investigation. It is vital to note that recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with the content of Rumble's platform. Just yesterday, YouTube announced that based solely on these media accusations, it was barring Mr. Brand from monetizing his video content. Rumble stands for very different values. We have devoted ourselves to the vital cause of defending a free internet, meaning an internet where no one arbitrarily dictates which ideas can or cannot be heard, or which citizens may or not be entitled to a platform. Which, by the way, I just want to remind my viewers that all of my videos are backed up onto Rumble. If you want to follow over on Rumble and watch the videos there, all the videos are backed up onto Rumble. Link in the description. We regard it as a deeply inappropriate and dangerous that the UK Parliament would attempt to control who's allowed to speak on our platform or to earn a living from doing so. Singling out an individual and demanding his ban is even more disturbing given the absence of any connection between the allegations and his content on Rumble. We don't agree with the behavior of many Rumble creators, but we refuse to penalize them for actions that have nothing to do with our platform. Although it may be politically and socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. We empathetically reject the UK Parliament's demands. So yeah, like I said, Rumble CEO essentially telling the UK Parliament to go fuck themselves because they're pieces of garbage who want to remove someone's ability to speak because of allegations, not charges, allegations. Innocent until proven guilty is essentially what Rumble said. Good on Elon Musk with X. Good on Rumble, the Rumble CEO, Chris Pavlovsky, for standing up against this nonsense, this garbage cancel culture nonsense that these people want to put out here. Here, of course, is the UK Ministry of Thoughts, Crimes and Cancel Culture herself.
Of course, this weekend we've seen some very serious and disturbing accusations about Russell Brand's behaviour, and we understand, of course, that the police are now looking into some of these allegations. As a first step, our committee have decided that we will today...
Our committee have decided that we would be commies and try to get him banned and lose his livelihood on platforms because we disagree with his ability to speak freely.
Right to media outlets, including the BBC and Channel 4, to understand the actions that they're taking as we consider some of the issues around these allegations.
So you know they're allegations, but you choose to try to deplatform someone. Nice.
They've been widely described by reporters in the press and on social media as an open secret, and quite often these secrets are shared between friends and colleagues just to keep each other safe. But
just to keep each other safe, okay. And where have we heard that before? I wonder where we've heard that before. Oh, I wonder. Let's see. I think someone in the comments gives the perfect answer for that one. Oh yeah, that was the funny mustache man from WW2 that said the exact same type of language. Okay.
Concern is when people in power are aware of rumours or stories yet don't act, then a
They're rumors, so why would anyone act? They're accusations, allegations. Why would anyone act? Yes, do your investigations, but to say that you should have someone deplatformed and lose their livelihood because of allegations is absolute nonsense.
culture is allowed to permeate. Of course, this weekend we've
Disgusting. Again, good on Rumble and Elon Musk over on X or Twitter. Shout out to Data Racer 1.7, by the way, for putting this in here so we can listen to her ramble on about garbage. And that can be included in this video for context. At the end of the day, I don't believe anyone should lose their livelihood over allegations. I will say the same exact thing for someone like Mike Fuentes over at Pierce the Veil, who was removed from his band for essentially the same thing, which was allegations, and he lost his livelihood because of it. So, at the end of the day, innocent or proven guilty. We'll see how this story progresses, and all that good stuff. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button. Comment below what you feel about all this. How are you guys and gals, taking all of this? Let me know how y'all feel about this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That we get notifications anytime I post a new video or live stream. Our next live stream will be Saturday, September 23rd. September 23rd will be episode 1 of my new podcast, Nostalgia Bait, talking about Final Fantasy. And I'll see you all in the next one.